Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I did not realize that the recording would end after 10 minutes, and I'm using Screencastify, the free version. So, welcome back. And so, who's in my PLC semester two? As I was saying, it could be people in your department, or it could be others that have an interest in formative assessment. And as you know, question number one was dealing with standards and essential learning targets. Question number two is moving into assessment. So, we're naturally moving from a focus on question one to a focus on question two. Along the way, though, you're going to be looking at all four questions. And so I did include some links in this document just for some formative assessment tools that I learned more about this summer at some conferences. You may want to check out some of these. So if you download this or save this presentation, you can click right on them or just Google and search for them. Okay. All right. But here's the deal. As we're working on our essential learning targets, there's going to be a template for your course, and you're going to fill in a table for each essential learning target. So what do I want students to learn? You're going to state your essential learning question or your essential learning target in this box. Then you're going to evaluate. How will I know that they've learned it? So what assessments will I be doing related to that? Will there be assignments? Will there be quizzes? Will I have some formative versus summative? So in this box, it's going to be separated into a formative section and a summative section. So if there's certain formative things that you're doing in your live lessons, then those would go in here. There's certain things within the course curriculum that are summative, they would go in here. Okay. What if they haven't learned it? So this is my intervention. What do you do right now if you know that a student hasn't learned it? Where do you determine how they haven't learned it? Are you doing that by evaluating and looking at the summative results? Are you doing that ahead of time with some formative assessments? If it's a formative assessment, how are you jumping in? I like to think of formative assessments as assessments of learning, and summative as, I'm sorry, the other way around. Formative assessments as assessments for learning, and summative assessments as assessments of learning. So and then what if they have learned it? So that's enrichment or differentiation there. And so as you're doing each essential learning target, you're going to fill in this as we go along. Now, the idea would be that we'd be really good at knowing what we want to teach. We'd be pretty good at assessing it. May need to do some improvement here as educators. I just think and reflected myself when I was teaching, I probably could have done a better job formatively. Um, and then, what do we do when students haven't learned it? How are we intervening? What are we doing to change things to try and reach them and get them to learn it? And what do we do if they've already learned it or they already know it? And so you're going to be filling this in. And then over time, I would see us maybe coming back to this in subsequent years and looking at it and going, yeah, now I do this here, and now I do this here, and now I do this here. And really, adding more depth to these second, third, and fourth boxes as we learn more about this process and we continue to grow in our pedagogy. All right, for each course, you'll eventually have a template such as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to escape out of this, and I'm just going to pull up some documents that I have. So this is the document of iForward classes that I have provided you a link to. So you just put your name in the teacher's teaching course section, and when you're teaching it, that you know of at this point, you can just do Q1 at this point. Okay. This is the template for the essential learning targets. So you're going to have what do we want students to learn? You put your essential learning question or essential learning target in here. You put any formative and summative assessments in here, interventions and differentiations here. You talk about areas of strength in your pedagogical practices and areas of growth in your pedagogical practice related to this essential learning targets. Okay, and so you'll have, 4 to 8. I only put 5 in the template to start with, but we can always copy and paste. And so there'll be one of these for each course. So we'll have the course name, the school year, and then we'll also have instructors here. Okay. All right. This is the layout of how our PLCs will be going. So no meeting the first week of school here on the 4th, but the week of the 11th. It doesn't have to be that exact day, but the week of the 11th, that second week of school, The focus will be on developing norms. You'll learn more about what norms are. I didn't talk about those at this point, but you'll develop your norms for both your face-to-face and your discussion board discussions. So you want to have some norms created. Then the week of the 18th, you'll have a discussion forum meeting, and that'll be the RTI resource review and discussion. And so that'll be available for you in the 17-18 Teacher to Do course. The week of the 25th, the discussion on differentiated resources and differentiated resource review. So here's the questions that I'll be posting in there for you. And so I'm starting by helping facilitate the first few weeks by developing this plan for you. So on the 9th of October, that week, you'll work on your essential learning target 1, share, and feedback. So you want to have that done by then. And you'll be sharing that with your colleagues and then asking them for feedback, and so on and so forth. And so this information will be posted for you, all in the Teacher to Do course. Okay, so as I go in here, you should have a 2017-18 iForward Teacher to Do course. And you'll notice that I have in here PLC discussion. So PLC group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we'll be probably posting in each of these just your topics and going from there. So we'll figure out the format in there, but that's where you'll find your asynchronous PLC meetings. Okay. All right. So I also have this iForward PLC FAQ, and I'll be sending this out, but it goes over a lot of the things that I talked about in the presentation. All right. Well, I hope that that helps you better understand what the PLCs are all about. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. There will be a PLC template that the facilitators will fill in. So the norms will go in this document, and then you'll have meeting dates. You'll do this both for face-to-face and discussion forums, the facilitator and recorder who participated, and then just some guiding questions if you want to include any information here on these from the meeting. So that's just a template for recording your meeting time. So that this will be developing, and we may add or subtract to it, etc. So hopefully that gives you a good idea on your PLC and what we are looking to do this year to grow everybody as professionals and educators, and just help each other get better. I always share with my students and my athletes that as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another, which really means that as we all work to make each other better, then we get better. So thanks again for your time. Hope you have a great back to school workshop, and let me know if you have any questions.